Gigantic craters, in whose yawning depths no spark of warmth had been generated for countless cycles of time, were surrounded by vast plains, eroded to the dead level of a windless sea. That is a quote by author E. Doc Smith from 1931 in his epic story Space Hounds of IPC. And that is space. Desolate, barren, outer space. But despair not, for the arrival of the new metaverse is most opportune, and I must say, far more promising for our human needs than any red planet orbiting a yellow sun, even if you happen to be flying at the speed of light a Tesla space car. Now then, what is this glorious metaverse? Yes, step aside, universe. We are playing God now. The metaverse is a digital space inhabited by digital representations of people and things. That's a quote by Microsoft, all right? Well, I believe E. Doc Smith wrote in his Skylark novel, Skylark Duquesne, that the model is the reality, or something rather like that. Skylark was a series of 3 books, you could call it a trilogy, written through the 1920s and through to the 1960s. Now, the importance of E. Smith's story of an out-of-this-world supervillain may not hit it at home for contemporary space opera fans, in a manner. And yet, Herr Doktor von Vrilock wishes to assure you that Doc Smith was by some light years the most important contributor to the world of psionics. Bow down. We might even consider Doc Smith to be the father of psionics. Well, whereas Dr. Albert Abrams might be thought of as the first modern pioneer in radionics, and maybe Robert B. Stone was the father of psychotronics, though it is arguable that the title belongs to Wilhelm Reich, who pioneered research and development into orgone generators. But life is not fair, right? Well, suffice it is to say that our true source of discovery, mystery penetration, and eventually personal power comes from the mind of the individual, if you still have one. And nowhere is this more expressly exemplified than in the Skylark novels of E. Doc Smith. Thank you, Edward. Particularly in the mind of the characterized villain, Dr. Mark C. Duquesne. Not to go off on a tangent here, but E. Doc Smith was a food engineer, and he spawned some of the best space operas in the world. So he's known as the father of space operas, but I also refer to him as the father of psionics. Now, moving on, the model is the reality. And in VRilock Psionics Metaverse, augmented reality, I hope you will join your lovable Herr Doktor von Vrilock in this epic journey and into spatial web comradery. The visionary Doc Smith had this to write on the future of what we now know as holograms in his book Skylark of Valoron, and I quote, 1935. That cabinet became instantly a manifold scanner. Simultaneously, there appeared in the air, above the machine, a three-dimensional model of all the galaxies there listed. End quote. Yes, a three-dimensional model of the grand totality, which is the cosmic all. And this is precisely the unique vision of Edward Smith's novel, Skylark, which speaks to psionics, chaos magicians, and technomancers globally. The model is, and I cannot reiterate this enough, the model is the reality. And indeed, the metaverse will become the home for many new models of varying components and the myriad constructs of civilization. And as I've pointed out in my sharing with friends in the past here, in previous post and podcast, and in my book, Psionic Necromancer, that's coming soon to digital, I've shared about my communion with Nikola Tesla. Yes, the late Nikola Tesla, the disembodied mind of Nikola Tesla, spoke to me that the thing is not the thing itself. And that was in reference to what is lightning, what is electricity. And the answer I received is this. It is rather that the equation on the blackboard is the film from which reality is projected into our temporal conscience as an experience in what we believe is the world. We might even go so far as to express this as what we believe to be our minds. Just as JavaScript developers write code behind every web page you read on the internet today, so also then will developers of the future and Web3 techno wizards write the scripts, which will be our lives, into the new spatial web. Don't believe me, Dr. Jones? You will. I'll make you a true believer. Herr Doktor von Vrilock has worked with models a zillion times over, and the good Dr. Vrilock can tell you without a hesitant moment here that the model refashions the material, the social, and economic properties of the so-called reality. Yes, and I know you're expecting me to get to the meat of the matter here with what psionics you need, but there are good and sufficient reasons for this apparent delay. But you're keen. Perhaps I ought to give you the whole picture here. You must understand me. The metaverse will be no different from the models I've worked with in the relationships to a psionic mind, which I do have. The spatial web is simply a more real-time, responsive medium through which the work of one's individual will to influence reality and the many things therein will become near instant. There will be those who create this reality. Then there will be those who merely follow it. Who's the more fool, the fool or the fool who follows him? Don't lecture me, Obi-Wan. I do not fear the dark side of the Force as you do. There will be those who experience it. Okay, and then there will be those few who use psionics to truly master this pseudo-material and digital sphere of reality. I invite you to become one of my top psionic sorcerer apprentices, VRilock.com/shop, and begin your journey. Allow me to break it down for you as to what you need here. You see, I've laid down for you the power of 35 plus years of psionic power magic mastery. And this is what you'll need. Number 1, Take note. Are you paying attention? Psionics Academy 101, the video course. Number 2, awesome amplifiers. Why? What do you mean why? Well, because you need to amplify the talents that you learn in Psionics Academy. Number 3, Vril, fire and ice. Once again, the reasoning behind this, dear friends, is that you must control your Orlog. What's that? Orlog? What is it, precious? Well, I'm going to tell you all about it in the video course, but I'll key you in this much. We all have an Orlog. It controls our destiny. And if you can master the Orlog, your web of synchronicity will become under your power and sway. This is very important. Remove unnecessary obstacles and opposition to you. Kick life's hurdle stones out of the way with the power of Thor. Balance your mind's eye with the polarities of fire and ice. Master Vril, the life force of the gods. Number 4, the VPG trio. Well, you need to read about your favorite masked man. I had a journey. The VPG trio is the Vrilock Practical Guides 1, 2, and 3. Metaphysics of Self-Mastery. The Miraculous Prayer Board Guide. The Wondrous Wheel. Each of these ebooks that have been put together into a trio just for you take you through the solar plexus chakra, the chakra of your will, the heart chakra of hope, inspiration, and miracles, and finally the mind's eye and crown chakra for working fantastic feats in this reality. VPG trio. And then the various electives, such as the Psionic Cryptomancer video course. Why not? The world is blockchain. You think it's going to be blockchain? No, it is. There's a war going on. Guess who's going to win? Herr Doktor von Vrilock said so. Cryptocurrency, blockchain, CBDC, all of it will be. Now it's your turn. You're up to bat. What are you going to do? You want a piece of the pie. You want control. Or you want somebody else to control your life. Stop being such a wimp. Take Psionic Cryptomancer video course and learn. Questions? Vrilock.com/contact. When you're knowledgeable in the basic fundamentals, as I've laid out for you here, then join the Psionics Club at Vrilock.club, VRilock.club. And if you can't spell the latter part, club, don't bother showing up. And there will, when we get there, when you come into the club, I'm going to welcome you, and we will really keep the magic high. Just you and me, because we're friends. Now you are ready to begin your journey into the Vrilock Psionics Metaverse. Total reality game changer. Experience like none other. Herr Doktor Vrilock will lead you into the meta future of psionics with full knowledge and potency of power. None better. Let's keep the magic high. Herr Doktor von Vrilock, signing out.